I wanna all night. Say it. I wanna all night.
Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let cumulus clouds all in the sky ruin my vibe. Usually I don't do this often, but since recruiting isn't an option due to unusual rain and thunder, baby I wonder, put your sweats on for me. Yeah. I got the plug, I made the call for me. I'm talking late night for ya. Let me lay a great time on ya. Don't hesitate, no, don't you? Just say you will. Come through and chill. Just say you will.
Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get it. Saying you a bad bitch, put your hands up high, hands up high, hands up high. Till I feel the lights down right now, put me in the mood. I'm talking about dark perfume, go.
I recognize your fragrance, hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit, and I know your taste is a little bit, high maintenance, everybody else basic, you live life on an everyday basis, with poetic justice, if I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? I mean, I write poems in these songs, dedicated to you when you're in the mood for empathy, is blood in my pen, better yet with your friends and them, I really wanna know you all, I really wanna show you off. Fuck God, pour up plenty of champagne. Cold nights when you curse this name. You called up your girlfriends and y'all curled in that little bitty range. I heard that she wanna go and party. Nigga don't approach her with that Atari. Nigga that ain't good game home is sorry. They say conversation rule the nation. I can tell, but I could never right my wrongs unless I write it down for real. P.S.
Something with all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year? When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Marketing come up with that for him. Those were his phrases that he came up with, that he believed in.
Just win. Play hard. Try not to make mistakes. But don't worry about mistakes because there's only one thing that counts. Just win. Coaches, the great games we've played in, the flame that would burn brightest here is the will to win, is the will to win, is the will to win. Your commitment to excellence and your will to win will endure forever, you imagine.
Yo, welcome to another week of the 2-for-1 Nation podcast, man. I'm one of your hosts, the SC Experience, aka your boy Eric, man. And to my, again, I got it right. To my left over here, my boy, Raider Twuan in the building. What's good, Twuan?
Hey, what's good? What's good? Salute to everybody out there in the Raider Nation. It is the 2-for-1 Nation podcast. Two brothers for one nation. We know that's only one nation, and that's the Raider Nation. Yes, sir. Blessings to everybody.
And we have an interesting. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to see what this team is capable of on Sunday because they're playing. You could say arguably the best team that Antonio Pierce is gonna face as being a head coach. But before we get into the Miami Dolphins and the Raiders at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Let's talk about let me give a shout out to you guys, man. The people that make this channel alive, man. And we appreciate everybody that's here on this Thursday afternoon. Shout out to everybody in here. Robert Pena in the building. We're also simulcasting on 2 different channels on YouTube, on the Raider Twuan channel and the SC Experience, and also on Facebook as well on under Twuan there as well. So go check it out. Go check it out. We're on 3 different platforms. So shout out to everybody, no matter where you're from or where you're at. We appreciate you being here. Robert Pena in the building. Raider Paul in the building. Salute. Wild Turkey. Salute. He's working and listening. Hey, I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're listening. Hopefully, we could make your work go faster. You feel me? We could make it a little easier for you and make it fun. Shout out to Egalitarian in the building. Alfredo, nervous for Sunday, to be honest. We'll talk about it. There's a little bit of a lot of things heading into this game. Shout out to Alfredo in the building. Circus Raider, what's good, Circus? Gord Peterson also in the building. Shout out to you. Jaw Raider. Salute. Jack Jones, number 18. He's wearing number 18. Okay, we go talk about Jack Jones. Because now that I got my boy Twuan here, we've been 2 advocates from him since he got drafted. We'll talk about him. And to the people that don't really know too much about him, shout out to SoCal Sal. What's good, SoCal Sal? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Shout out to Greg Atkins in the building. What's good, Greg Atkins? Kevin Lurker. Salute, salute. Good to see everybody in here, man. He said, I agree with the NFL Network. Dolphins defense is not the Jets defense. Jacobs had 116 rushing yards. Jets never allowed that many. Dolphins aren't special. They beat the Panthers, Giants, Patriots, Broncos, Chargers. We'll talk about. There's an interesting stat that I don't know if Twuan knows, but I'm gonna pull it up once we talk about the Dolphins, of course. Shout out to everybody, man. Dark in the building. What's good, Dark? Good to see you. And I heard you're gonna come back. Dark. I heard you and I believe Holly are gonna come back and come full force again with the Raider content, man. That's a good thing to hear, man. That's a good thing to hear. We need more content creators that know what they're talking about here, man, on a consistent basis. Because you know me, some people call me a part timer. Shout out to everybody here, man. Pizzle was good. Good to see you. Hope all's well. Shout out to everybody that's in here. If I skipped you, I'm sorry. But if you're new here, hey, subscribe, man. If you know what you like. We're on the road to 2,000 over here. We're trying to get Twuan monetized, man. He's so close. So go over there. Go check him out. The links are in the description. But let's get straight into it, right? Before we get to the Dolphins, let's talk about the Raider news. We have practically gotten a new corner under helm by the name of Jack Jones, straight out of Arizona State. Twuan, let me know. I know you and me were a little bit of advocates for him a years back.
Let's go.
What do you think about Jack Jones being a Raider, man?
Hey, man. Jack Jones. Hey, for real. Hey, it all started when me and you did the combine.
Yeah.
We did the combine together. And we were sitting here just watching guys going through tape, and there was something that caught my eye in regards to Jack Jones. And I think he can bring a lot to the table in regards to, our cornerback room. I'm not saying he's going to be, I'm not going to say he's a number one and put him on an island or anything like that, but he's definitely a solid piece to the puzzle of our defense, and just another guy. If you like what Amik brings to the table, if you like that type of in your face, always going to be around the ball, a really good tackler, even with his size, you're getting another Amik. You know what I'm saying? And what we like out of Amik, that's what you're going to get out of Jack Jones. And the things that we been kind of stressing about, in regards to, sometimes our corners, just specifically our corners, are not tackling well. You ain't got to worry about that with Jack Jones. Jack Jones is a tackler. He tackles it in when there's a lot of people around, but he also tackles in space. So we'll see, how quick he actually gets out there when they actually are going to put him, actually let him really get active and go out there. But when he actually acclimates to this defense, he's definitely going to be a force. And also, let me say this, and I'll pass it back to you because I know I'm talking a little too much about one guy that I really like. Is it also is what I call my favorite word, and that's cheap labor. We're getting him in his rookie contract, so he's not even costing us a whole bunch of money. So that is a even more of a plus of us getting him off of waivers. I think we have him under contract per se for his third and fourth year of his rookie contract. So it's cheap labor. So it's one of those small risk, huge reward situations with Jack Jones.
Shout out to Darky says, thank you, Eric. You're not no part timer. Keep up the good work, fellas. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. Not gonna lie, when I saw we signed Jones, I panicked until I said Jack Jones. You thought it was Chandler? I ain't gonna lie, at first I did too, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh shit. Shout out to Milka Beezy. What's good, Milka Beezy? Shout out to you, man. Turntable. Shout out to Vic Sacramento, man. Everybody in here joining us right now. I appreciate you guys. Pizzo, I'm not sure if I said what's up, Pizzo. Good to see everybody in here, man. But yeah, for me, Jack Jones was somebody like a sleeper when it came down to it. Shout out to Lewis. What's good, Lewis? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Um, he's an interesting prospect. If you guys don't know too much about him, he actually was coached by Antonio Pearson High School. Not only that, he also went to Arizona State, also to Poly as well. He had a unique NFL career so far, right? Shout out to Gravy, shout out to El Capitan Rafael. Good to see both of you guys here, man. Shout out to Auntie Six. As you were saying, I thought he was back. I was like, no, facts. So let me give you guys a little bit of backstory. I kind of said it on Monday show, but I'll say it again today for all the people that weren't here on Monday. Jack Jones, like I said, came from Arizona State, was under Antonio Pearson High School. Also, not only that, was also in Poly. On top of all that, he was a prospect that some may say was one of the top corners in the draft at a certain point. He ended up falling a little bit. He went to the fourth round, of course. Fourth round pick there for, I believe, the Patriots, of course. And from there, his rookie season was exceptional. Was top 10 in coverage grade. He had some faults there. He likes to bite a lot of routes, which that's a hit or miss type of ability. And somebody that reminds me of something like that is like Trayvon Diggs with the Cowboys, how he was, right? It's a guy that he's not scared to bite the route, but it's the risk of, hey, if that ball gets to that receiver, he's going to get a chunk of yards or he's going to get a pick and make a play. And that's what it is with Jack Jones. He had 2 interceptions rookie season. A lot of people, when it comes down to the draft, it's first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round. There's expectations for people depending on where they get drafted. For him being a fourth rounder, he exceeded the expectations. People thought, wow, he's looking like a first round, second round talent tip player. And that's how he was in the rookie season. Now you may say, why did the Patriots cut him? Well, the decline happened in the second season of his career. Of course, some off the field issues with curfew, which he came out recently, actually, once he was signed by the Raiders. He came out on a tweet saying that that's not true, that was just rumors. Who knows how true it is? But like I said, it was a curfew, something like that. Also, on top of all that, he also had some complications with his lack of effort on the field. He started not you started to see him not wanting to play for Bill Belichick. He started not wanting to play for the Patriots, and you seen him in his lack of effort. He ended up getting benched. And once he got benched, that's when you really started seeing him decline as far as not talent, but his effort on the field. And it begged questions to Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick came out and said, "Hey, it was time to move on. We don't want a person that doesn't want to be here." Boom. A lot of people started speculating. Where is he going to go? A lot of teams are calling, wanting him. And the reason people are calling him because they know the potential he has is just what coach is going to make him play for him. Wow. Why don't you get his high school coach, his guy he's very familiar with, in Antonio Pierce? And Antonio Pierce took a shot on him. And some people I know are a little bit like, is he going to be that good or not? At the end of the day, if there's one thing Antonio Pierce could do is make people play for him. And it's exactly how the players were with him. Adams was looking like he didn't want to play out there. Jacob started getting frustrated. Renfro looked like he wanted to get traded. And then out of nowhere, you fire Josh McDaniel, you get Antonio Pierce, and now everybody wants to play for the coach, and they're playing pretty damn good. It's the same thing with Jack Jones. Hey, might as well get another player that doesn't want to play for somebody else and make them play for this team. And for me, I feel like I'm not expecting him to be a top 10 corner coming into the Raiders. At the end of the day, he's gonna be a number 3, number 4, maybe number 2. But I still think Jacorian Bennett and Nate Hobbs are in front of him. So that means he's most likely gonna take a Meeks in that third, fourth row. And I think he's good at there. When you look at his tape, even though he had an exceptional rookie season and he looked like a really good corner, he still didn't. When I looked at his tape, he didn't look like a number 1 corner to me. He always looked like a number 2, number 3. That's exactly what he's going to be with the Raiders. So for me, I'm excited. I know Twan's excited. This is a guy that we've been vouching for a very long time, and now he's a Raider, man, and he's ready. He talked about the secondary. He said, "Hey, this secondary is elite, and we gonna make plays now, and we gonna make plays." And I'm like, I like that mentality that he's already like, "Hey, I'm coming out here. I'm gonna make plays." So, hey, that's a little backstory on Jack Jones there for everybody that doesn't really know too much about him.
Yeah, I think that's and I'm glad you brought that out in the Antonio Pierce connection. And it's one of those things. It's like, we saw what Antonio Pierce was able to do with players that he didn't really have a real, like, deep connection with. Now this corner that other teams were questioning, like, yeah, we see what's on tape. We see that you're good on tape, but can we pull that out of you? Yes. Yeah. Antonio Pierce is going to be able to pull that out of someone that he's pretty much coached into the league. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it's kind of like one of those situations of a player coming back home to, his home state, and the energy that a player may have in that type of situation. That's what's going to happen with Jack Jones. And I agree with you. Yeah, he is a corner that takes risk. But again, that's what great corners do. You're either going to take you're going to take a risk and get that interception, or you're going to take, not take that risk, and then your name's not getting put out there. So, I think in this defense that we do have, Patrick Graham is going to allow for him to take those certain risks, you know what I'm saying, to be aggressive and go try to make a play on the ball and stuff like that, because we do. And this is just my, my observation. I believe that we have great safeties behind him. So I just feel like, if we do got corners, that take a little risk here and there, I think our safeties in the back will help clean it up. So yeah. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm glad that we're getting guys like Jack Jones, guys that are not afraid to get their nose in there, no matter what size they are, and tackle. You know what I'm saying? I some people might be saying I'm talking too good about this guy, and yes, I am talking too good about this guy, because I just believe I really do believe in this guy as a player. Now, his whatever has been written about him on the off field, situations. Yeah. I can't speak on that. I'm talking about what he does on the gridiron, and he is a great player. And also, with that being said, I think because Antonio Pierce is going to be really, on him and keeping an eye on him in that situation, I think some of that off the field stuff will probably lighten up, in that, because, hey, Antonio Pierce, we know, just based on how Antonio Pierce has been talking in press conferences, he ain't nobody. He's like Wu-Tang. He ain't nobody to mess with. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? And coming into, future guys that may come to the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? We might get some guys that may be a little rough, written about a little bit rough on the edges, but I trust it with Antonio Pierce, because I feel like Antonio Pierce will, pin him against the wall with his elbow or something, if it gets a little too much, you know what I'm saying, at practice. Like, I don't know if he'll actually do that, but I just think he's that type of guy where if it gets a little too much, Antonio Pierce might jack him himself, you know what I'm saying, and whip him into shape. And hey, whatever it takes to get the best out of the player, I'm with it.
Shout out to everybody in here, man. I got actually something screen shared right now that I'm gonna show you guys. For the people, well, I'll get to it right now. Shout out to Raider Way in the building. Gravy, good to see you guys, man. Hope all is well. Jack Jones is going to add that lunchbox blue collared Raiders football. This is going to complement our secondary. Raiders have always been a second chance team. He is going to play for AP. That's a fact, man. Agree? Yup. Shout out to everybody, man. El Capitan Rafael, what's good? Good to see you, man. Considering what we saw under McDaniels, I definitely see why he quit on Belichick. Patriot way is pure BS. Compton Pierce will keep him on the right track. That's a fact. Shout out to Big Worm in the building. Good to see you, Big Worm. Sebastian Gonzalez in the building. Good to see you. And shout out to Dark Man Nation. This live is being broadcast on 2 channels. Make sure to take a second and hit that like button for the both channel, man. I appreciate that, man. Make sure, man. Raider Twuan and SC Experience both in the description. Speaking of guys coming, not to throw off the subject, but you hear Raider fans asking Seawood to coach. He said, I would like an ownership. I did see that. And I ain't gonna lie, I would love him to get part ownership. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about you. Charles Woodson, Breeze Raiders. Even though he has Green Bay a part of him, you see that he's for the nation a lot, man. Shout out to Sebastian Gonzalez. Pyro was good. Pyro, good to see you, Pyro. Anthony Estrada, good to see everybody in here, man. Now let me share my screen real quick. And this is actually go, because I know people like to see proof on things, and I don't need to show proof, but I want to because it's kind of cool to see this. I talked about how me and Twan were kind of advocating for this guy for a very long time. If you guys pay attention to the screen here, this was my live February 18th, 2022, before the 2022 draft, right? Y'all see it right there, right? Streamed live on February 18th, 2022. And y'all see the title? SC Raiders Talk NFL Draft Sleepers, right? Right? Who was I talking about, huh? Well, here you go. Look at. Oh, here we go. Yep. Got another tape, y'all. Got another one. Jack Jones. If you guys don't know who Jack Jones is, I said, he's a quarterback out of, I believe, Arizona State. If I'm mistaken, let me double check on that. Jack Jones. There's the proof of it. This guy is. Yeah, Arizona State. He's a 5'10" guy, 174 pounds, right? Jack Jones here. I was breaking down film, bro.
He of course played in the Pac-12, so maybe he drops him a little. I say we get Bill
on goddamn podcast with my hair looking like that, bro, with the fucking mic up to my face, bro. First of all, who the hell let me, bro? Like, goddamn, bro. Like, who let me? Like, it's crazy, bro. I didn't think Eric could look younger. Straight archives. Good call, Eric. It's funny, bro. I don't know who the fuck let me on podcast on my channel looking like that, bro. And y'all should see my oldest video. I had a yellow light. Oh my God, it was bad. I don't even want to get into it. But I was breaking down film here on Jack Jones. I considered him a sleeper. Let me just zoom into him going one-on-one against a corner. Y'all see him on the top of your screen. He goes against a 6'4" guy and easily comes down with it. Easily. Look at. And Jack Jones is behind him, by the way. Jack Jones is behind him. Y'all see on the top of your screen? Jack Jones is behind him, and he's going against somebody way taller than him, and he still made a play on him. So this is what the capability of Jack Jones is. So for everybody saying that I haven't been advocating for this guy, bro, I'm telling you, I know this shit. We've been doing this shit. I'm telling you, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's a little flex moment right there, bro. Just I'm good when it comes to the draft, man. That's one thing you can tell me.
I can't wait until you guys see him in silver and black. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I saw him at the combine and it wasn't, and people were like, oh, you just saw him run the 40. Nah, it ain't about the 40. When I saw him, when I saw him shifting hips and doing the cone drill, and he went through the gauntlet and was going like this, and everything was going right here in the corner like this. I was like, man, Jack Jones. Yep. I don't care if he's 5'10", Jack Jones. And it just happened to be that the Patriots, you know what I'm saying, Bill Belichick saw the same thing I saw and was like, hey, we got to get him here. And also with that, I'll say this, that they had a very crowded corner room too, because they had Gonzalez over there. They had I think it's Mike Jones.
Mike Jones, yeah, I think it's Mike Jones. They had another Jones in there.
They had another Jones over there, and then Jack Jones was there, and then they had like a loaded corner room. So look, I'm glad he came over to the dark side. And hopefully he can be a guy that we can, maybe after his rookie contract, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can slide him a couple of dollars.
Facts. So just everybody that's joining us, shout out to EJ Raider, man. Y'all remember this. If y'all want to go see a little mini breakdown of what he brings and the play call, go back to this live right here, man. February 18, 2022, SC Raiders Talk NFL Draft Sleepers. I talked about him, about Jack Jones, man. He's been somebody that was always a sleeper of mine, and he proved me right his rookie season. Like I said, it started declining, not his lack of effort because of he didn't want to play for Belichick, and now he's a Raider. So I believe in the guy. I'm not saying, like I said, and I'm gonna repeat this again because people are gonna be like, "Oh, SC loves this guy so much. He thinks he's gonna be a top 10." No, I'm just saying he's gonna come in here, complement our secondary, and help us with our depth on the secondary. And I'm hoping he could be back to his rookie shape. Play the analysis, SC. You want me to play the? It's pretty. I mean, I don't know how long it is.
The
I don't want to
6'5" guy. Time off of it. The ball is placed exact. So when you
I'll play this 30-second.
Who's gonna win most likely? The 6'5" guy.
The guy he played against was 6'5".
Right? When you look at this, the ball is placed exactly in the middle, right here to his chest, to the receiver's chest. Jack Jones realizes that's a 50-50 ball. He knows he can't intercept it because of the way he's angled. So what happens here is, right, they both go up for it. They both jump up. Both use their vertical. Both use their vertical there. They both use their vertical up there. Right? They both use their vertical up there.
Why did I repeat that 3 times, bro? I swear.
Boom. Great defensive play. Puts his arm exactly there. Makes sure not to get past the interference. Throws that ball down. Boom. The ball's out. Deflection.
You guys can barely see it.
Repeat it a little bit more. Man to man. Press coverage. 50-50 ball. 6'5" versus 5'10". 5'10" wins.
A 5'10" guy against a 6'5" guy. If you guys want to go check everything out, what I said about him, you guys can go to that live. But a mini breakdown of him. He went against a 6'5" guy. He said, "Is he using his vertical?" I can't tell. I know I said vertical 3 times. I don't know what the fuck wrong with me a year ago. But he's 6'5" guy against 5'10". You think a 6'5" guy will get it, especially with the 5'10" guy being behind him? No, he knew he couldn't intercept the ball, so he went perfectly, batted the ball down. Without no pass interference. And that's the type of guys I like. And that's what a Meek brings, right? Is exactly what Twuan said. That's what a Meek brings. And that's exactly what this guy brings to the table. I'm not saying he's going to be a Meek level right now, but I will say with a little bit of time, he could get there to his rookie shape. So that's Jack Jones for you guys, man. Go check out that video if you wanted a full breakdown. But as of now, that's a little bit of breakdown of Jack Jones. I'm excited for him. I can't wait to see what he does on Sunday. Hopefully, he does a decent enough job to help the secondary. But now on to the next topic at hand. Colton Miller, by the way, this is just a quick thing. Colton Miller's back at practice. It's still questionable if he's good on Sunday. I don't know. I think I would wait till the Chiefs game, in my opinion, but we'll see about it. But let's go into Miami, right? Miami Dolphins versus Las Vegas Raiders in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. Tyreek Hill versus Devontae Adams, Aiden O'Connor versus Tua Tagovailoa. The Raiders defense that is playing pretty good at a high level, and some may say that they haven't played any good, but they even played good against Detroit. The only reason why Detroit put up that many yards is because the offense couldn't do shit, and y'all remember who the coach was against the Detroit Lions. Now, the Raiders. Some interesting stats about the Raiders, of course. The Raiders are ranked first in allowed points per game in the last 3 games. They're number 1 in the league in the last 3 games. They are 13th in points per game defensive rank. They're tied for 5th in interceptions. They're tied for 5th in pass yards allowed. And they're also 10th in passing yards. Tied for 5th in passing TDs allowed and 10th in passing yards allowed. And on top of all that, the defense has allowed 3 touchdowns on 35 drives since week 8. 8.6% each drive that they will score a touchdown. It ranks first in the NFL for this team since week 8. This defense is playing pretty good. And I know people are saying, "Oh, they didn't play anybody good." They played Detroit, which Detroit was good. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for our offense, that score wouldn't be the score it was. Shout out to Cool Kev in the building, and shout out to Milka Beezy. He said, "I missed that big head Eric." What the fuck? Hell no, bro. That Eric, bro. I don't know who let me on podcast like that with that big ass mic. I had the mic like this
Hey, who said Big Head Eric?
with gravy.
Hey, Gravy. Hey, he kind of lightweight, looked like Bobby's World in that video, huh?
That shit was crazy, bro. I don't know who let me on podcast at that time, bro. It's fucking crazy. But
shout
I
out
give
to
a
the
lot of
progression, man.
facts,
Shout out
right?
to the
I started off
progression.
with the yellow light, this in my not even this in my background. It was absolutely crazy.
Hey, look.
But shout out to everybody, man. And he says, shout out to Reeps. Is that Eric? Yeah, that was Eric in that one thing. But shout out to Reeps. Was good. Good to see you. So Miami Dolphins are gonna play a really good defense. At the end of the day, the Miami's, believe it or not, the New York Jets defense is better than the Miami Dolphins defense. It's way better. And it's crazy to think that, right? The Jets defense is better than Miami's. It is. It's proven. Their offense is way better than the Jets, though. They have some hard hitters: Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Tua Tagovailoa. Twan, let me know a little bit of what you're expecting on Sunday. What you think, man?
You know what? This game is going to be definitely a game that is going to be a test. I think it's still a game that can be beat. We can beat the Dolphins. It's just going to take a lot of making sure that we play a clean game on both sides of the ball. This is another thing of observation is I feel like this is also a test for our safeties. I've been really high on our safeties because they haven't been beat deep, and that's kind of like the indicator of safeties get safe how well our safeties have played is us not getting beat deep. This is the opportunity that they have to tighten up. And I'm not saying that they're not going to tighten up. I think that is just an indicator on where we really are against a very high-powered offensive team that does a lot of they do a lot of tricky stuff. There is, like I said, there is a path towards victory for us, but again, I think it just overall, the overall observation of us, what we would have to do is we would just have to stay on schedule and stay clean. And if we can do that, we definitely have a chance at beating them. Because again, with all their explosion plays and all their deep passes and stuff like that, those are also opportunities to get picked off. So we just got to definitely, like I said, stay on schedule and stay clean.
Yeah. As far as the Dolphins, a little bit about the Dolphins. Shout out to Holly Tanner. What up, sis? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Shout out to J Dog. Morg must have heard me talking shit. Morg has played pretty good, man. Shout out to Cool Kev. He said Raiders win. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. And like Twan said, we're capable of beating them. And shout out to K Hop, our fellow Broncos fan in the building. If the Broncos could beat the Chiefs and Bills, the Raiders could beat the Fins too. Yeah, it's crazy. The Broncos. Yeah, congrats to y'all for beating the Bills, but I wish the Bills beat y'all. But the Miami Dolphins, right? They're getting some players back, and they're have some players on injured as well. Some players they have coming back is their rookie in Shane. I don't know how to say his name, Devon Shane. The guy that was doing really good at that running back position at a certain point. He's back. He's returning against the Raiders, so that's something to look at. That run game between him and Raheem Mostert is gonna be something to look at. Not only that, they're without both of their guards, so they're gonna have two backup guards at their guard position. But where their strongest suits are is their tackle position. They just got Teron Armstead back, one of the best tackles in the league, and on top of that, they also got Connor Williams back. That provides them the boost they need. On top of all that, it's gonna be a battle of who could run the ball, most importantly. And to me, I think the run game is going to be crucial in this game. Um, the Miami Dolphins, they got a bunch of weapons across the field. They got a lot of speedsters, both in their running back position and their wide receiver room. For me, I'm looking at this Raiders defense. They're playing at a high level right now. Let's see what they could do against some fast guys. How Patrick Graham situates a game plan, right? For me, obviously, I would put a corner on each of the receivers, obviously on Tyreek Hill, and then I'll have a safety shadow above. That's pretty much what I'll do to make sure that no large plays. Tua leads the league in biggest yard. What is it? Um, like 20 plus yard touchdown. I don't know what it is. Something with the deep ball. And then on top of that, we got our fellow Dolphins fan in the building as well. Dolphins for life was good. Good to see you. Um, and then on the Raiders side, we got Josh Jacobs that's playing like a MVP again. He's playing pretty damn good the past couple of weeks. So we're gonna desperately need him. Shout out to the Raider room in the building. Was good. Good to see you. So for me, this is a game we could beat them, but this is not gonna be an easy game at all. This is not gonna be a game where I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm so comfortable. I know we're gonna win. Hell no. It's a game where it's up in the air. It's gonna be two teams that are one's coming off of a loss and a bye week, and one's coming off of a 2 game win streak with some high hopes and turning their season around, continue to turn their season around. But for me, somebody I'm paying attention to is Max Crosby, man. If Max Crosby could get to Tua is one of the worst quarterbacks when he sacked more. You know what's crazy? When the Dolphins allow more than 3 sacks, they lose the game. They have lost every game they allowed more than 3 sacks. So I'm looking at Max Crosby. But what you think, Tom? What you think?
You said Max Crosby, and I'm looking at the interior of our D line.
Mm.
I'm looking at the two guys that I've been saying, and that I said I like that D tackle up to this point, and that's Adam Butler and John Jenkins. I think those guys really make pushing up the front, the middle. You know what I'm saying? Especially like you said, with them having backup guards in it it should be a little easier up front for us. But I'm not saying that it's going to be a cakewalk either. But I'm looking for our interior to really get it in for us, because we're definitely going to need it in the running game, but also if we're going to put pressure on Tua.
Mm-hmm. And another thing as well, I believe the Dolphins defense, their run defense is ranked 13th, led by David Long Jr. Their middle linebacker is one of the best linebackers when it comes to the run defense. So for me, like you said, you're looking forward to the interior. I'm also looking at the interior on the other side of the football, on the offensive line. Van Roden, Parham. I'm looking at those guys, Andre James, because they're gonna have a work cut out for them. If they could open up the gas for Josh Jacobs, we could get this run game going. And we all know Aiden O'Connell could throw the deep ball. So we desperately need Adams to expose their corners. I believe the Dolphins, and let me double check for you guys so I don't give you guys the wrong thing. As far as the Miami Dolphins, they're without still. Yeah, so they still have Xavier Howard over there. They have Eli Apple, Deshaun Elliott, Jalen Ramsey. So Jalen Ramsey is out there. I thought he got injured. Okay. So they got both of the corners there. Some interesting names, right? For me, I'm looking at a lot of once we get the run game going, I'm expecting a lot of 5 wide receiver sets, man. I'm expecting Josh Jacobs to be on the outside, Michael Mayer to be on the outside, Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, and Myers all out there at the same time, because you need some mismatches in order to beat the Dolphins. They got some tremendous ass secondary, and in order to expose that secondary, you put pressure on their second, third string guys. And once you put pressure on them, they're gonna start changing their game plan. And when they change their game plan, get back, hit them in the mouth with Josh Jacobs. And I think we're capable of. I ain't gonna lie, I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie, I can't. I'm excited because these are two good teams that I think is gonna give a show at 10 a.m. I hate that it's a 10 a.m. game in the West Coast. I hate those games, and we all know how the Raiders are on 10 a.m. games. But Antonio, and I must see your thoughts on this one. Antonio Pierce told them that they didn't have to go to Miami. They took a rest day here. How do you feel about that? You think that's a benefit, or you think that's a negative?
Antonio Pierce is a player.
Mhm.
And he's played in the league, so he kind of knows what works well for certain players You know what I'm saying? And I think he's leaning more on that experience. He also, you know, I heard that same press conference, and he also said that he started they start practice early too. So they come in at 6 a.m, which when they actually get out to the field, it's about 10 o'clock, you know, when they're actually on the field. So that's what they're kind of leaning on too, is that even though it's a 10 o'clock game on the West Coast, they're acclimating already now to the time, the time zone. So when they get there, it's pretty much, I woke up at 10. My body's going to say 10. Pretty much, I'm going to be on the field at 10 as if I was in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it works out. We'll see if they're sluggish in the first half, because usually that's what happens. Is if it's an early game, you know, usually the teams that are early, they're kind of sluggish in the first half, and then the second half, if it's not too big of a margin, you know, then they'll fight. They'll try to fight back into the game. But we'll see. We'll see if they just are off and running. You know, quarter one. But I'm with it. Hey, look, you know, whatever Pierce feels is right for the team, for the players, because I think I really feel like Pierce is a player's coach.
Yeah.
So I think he's always looking at what can he do for the players, and if the players are with it and that's what works for them, look, we need to do that. So this is I think this is our first test, right? This is our first going to
First real test.
going to the East Coast. So
That first real test in the East Coast, and also first real test that this team has plays good football on both sides of the field, on offense and defense. You know, against the Jets, we knew they had an excellent defense, but their offense wasn't the best. And same thing with the Giants, they had a decent enough defense, but their offense was atrocious. So now we got a team that has both an offense and defense, and it's going to be exciting to see what they do. Before I add on to what you were saying, because you brought up a good point about Antonio Pierce, I want to say shout out to J Dog. He says, I just feel like Crosby will wreck Tua quickly. I hope so, man. We really need him. And you know, Max Crosby tends to do that. He tends to have like a okay game, and then he just breaks out the next game. And he had an okay game against the Jets. Now, can this be the game where he starts breaking out again? Shout out to Raider. He says Butler safety blitz. That's a fact. Fax Twuan and Butler and Jenkins. Jalen Ramsey has knee issues. Okay, I knew he was injured with something. I think Michael Mayer has a breakout game. What the heck? I thought the show just started. I was watching the beginning. Oh, yeah, you were way behind, bro. Yeah, catch up to the live. Just click the live button.
yeah, press
They're
live.
leaving Friday evening. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And I like that. And you said it. He's a player's coach. He's a guy that was a player himself, and he knows what it does to your body when you go from one side of the country to the other side of the country. And you know, I think that's why he took the day off, because he knew that going in with McDaniels, he went earlier. He went as early as possible. He was like, "Hey, go out there and we're gonna start practicing." Instead, Antonio Pierce says, "Hey, rest your bodies, because we're gonna start hard working early as hell when we get over there." And that's exactly what they're doing, which I like. On top of all that, I do think the first quarter is gonna be sluggish. So don't expect the first quarter for us to come out of the gates already just pushing. But I do feel like our defense will do a good enough job to not make the Miami Dolphins do too much on us. I do think that the Raiders are going to start exploding in the second half. If I were to predict when they will start rolling a lot, it would be mostly the second half. I do think we're going to score points in the first half, but I think we're going to score a lot in the second half. I think that's when you're going to start seeing everything clicking even more. Just because I know what it could do to your body when you do that, and that's what I'm expecting. If they play all four quarters, I'm all for it. I'll love that. But at the end of the day, we got to see the realistic of it. It's the West Coast to East Coast, man, and that's gonna take a toll on their bodies. Um, let's go fishing. Shout out to Dan R. What's good? What's good? Shout out to everybody, man. He says Pierce has the players back, and they have his, and that's a fact. And this team is playing for something, and they're playing for each other. They're playing for the coach, and they're playing for the Raider Nation. And I'm excited to see what they do. I'm excited to see what they do on Sunday. It's gonna be a game that I ain't gonna lie, I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping. That from Saturday to Sunday, I'm not sleeping. I'm going to stay awake the whole night, and I'm gonna wait for that goddamn game. And I'm gonna put it on,
and I'm just gonna be, oh my god, all Raider geared out. You already know what I'm gonna be doing. I ain't gonna lie, I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie, I've never been this excited for a game this season. Besides this one and the first one with Antonio Pierce. So, it's just that feeling of what's gonna happen when they play this team. It's gonna be an exciting one. Hopefully, it goes our way because I have belief in this team, but we'll see what happens, right? Um,
Yeah, I definitely think there's an opportunity for us to, as much as people are down on it, I think there definitely is an opportunity for us to win this game because again, I believe I forgot who it was that said it, and I agree with them. Like the Jets defense is not the Dolphins defense. You know what I'm saying? And if we were able to, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that we played a stellar game against the Jets, but obviously we're able to win the game. But if we were able to not look completely horrible against the Jets, I there's opportunities for us to capitalize against this Dolphins defense, and it's just up to us if we it's up to us to capitalize on those things.
Fact. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. He says, not going to lie, you guys, Dolphins YouTube is definitely expecting us to blow out the Raiders out. And I've seen a lot of websites as well expecting the Raiders to get blown out. And I'm sitting here like, hey, I'm used to it. Everybody is considering us the underdog, which we are, because we don't. A lot of people have question marks on what can the Raiders do against a really good team. Um, but I believe in this team at the end of the day. I'm not expecting us to get blown out. But I could see why people are expecting us to get blown out. At the end of the day, the Dolphins are 4-0 at home. By the way, they're 4-0 at home with a combined of 100 points scored on the opposition. So they put up the points, and I think one of them was the 70-point game against the Broncos. So uh, yeah, that 100-point looks big, but they scored 70 on one team that was doing absolutely garbage at the time.
Yeah,
And on top of, yeah, go on.
those numbers are are a little construed just because they put that 70 on. and that's and that 70 will carry them all year.
Yeah,
it will make their numbers look a little bit better all year just because they put that 70. But that just lets you know that they have the capabilities of doing that. If you're not paying attention to it. So
facts. And he says, Dan R says, a whole new team, baby. Everybody in the Bay is Rocky Raiders gear, feeling hella. We got this. Hey, you already know what it is, man. Shout out to everybody, man, from the Bay to LA, to Vegas, and even to everybody in other countries as well, and other states. We appreciate you guys, man, and we appreciate you guys for rocking the nation, no matter where you are. But he said 24-hour live. No, Chile. I will not do a 24-hour that day. I ain't gonna lie. I will never do a 24-hour. I couldn't even do a 6-hour. I don't even know how I did 6 hours when I did the whole combine in the beginning of my YouTube shit. Now I can't even do a 2-hour live, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. But shout out to everybody in here, man. But like I was saying with the Dolphins, they're 4-0 at home and stuff like that. Shout out to Eric. He said they're 0-3 against teams with winning records, and oh my God, thank you for bringing up that point because I was about to bring up that same point as well. The Miami Dolphins have a losing record against teams that are above 500. Now, the Raiders are not above 500. They're exactly 500. They have beaten teams that are under 500. They haven't beat a team above 500. Now, you could, there's a gray area in the Raiders right there.
We are above 500. What you talking about? We 2-0.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how Miami.
We ain't counting what happened week 1 through 8.
That's a fact. So it's gonna be interesting as well. And we all know that the Dolphins, like I said, they are capable of putting 70 points if you're not prepared. On top of that, if they played the Broncos again, I promise you that the Broncos would have not allowed 70 points right now. So this is crazy talk. See, it's not crazy talk. It's the realistic of it. Miami Dolphins haven't beat a team above 500, but the Raiders are. However you look at it, I don't know how you're gonna look at it. The 2-0 or that they're at 500. But
I mean, our record's our record. I'll take the 500, but I'm just joking because it's one of those things. Is like we us as Raiders, we kind of want to wipe out
facts.
stuff that happened with with Josh McDaniels. That just was a whole mess.
He says, "New day, new nation." That's a fact. I'm not expecting us to be blown out, and I'm glad everybody's expecting us to get blown out. Um, at the end of the day, I'm also not going to say that the Raiders are going to come out and smack the shit out of them. They're not going to. But I do believe in this team. I believe what Antonio Pierce is capable of, and I promise you, if the Raiders pull off a win on Sunday, I promise you that Chiefs game is going to look more winnable by the hour if they beat the Miami Dolphins. Now, it's going to be a tough task for Antonio Pierce. I'm excited to see his game plan and Bo's game plan and Patrick Graham's game plan. But if there's one thing for sure, there's going to be fireworks on that day in the morning, and I can't wait to see this team, man. I believe in this team, man. I hope we could pull off the upset. At the end of the day, we've been underdogs all our lives, and if there's one thing for sure, we're underdogs again, right? Their defense is not even close to as good as the Jets. This is a whole different team since the fired the Clowns. That's a fact. Shout out to D Menace. 48-hour live. You said not sleepy Saturday and Sunday. I'm not going 48 hours, but we always play the Queefs hard. That's a fact. We were one possession away from beating them last year. Y'all remember that? It was a good contest. So, like I said, I'm not gonna get too hold of myself. At the end of the day, it's on to Sunday. It's against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are really good at home. At the end of the day, regardless, they played who they played. And I'm expecting this game to be close. I'm not giving a score prediction, but I expect it to be close. And I'm expecting a really good matchups across the board. So, uh, Twan, what matchups you looking at both sides of the football as far as player wise?
I'm really looking at uh I want to say Jacoby Myers.
Okay.
And the reason why is I think that they'll be paying a lot of attention back to Tay again.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think they'll have that mentality that we're not going to allow Devontae to beat us. And I think that's just another opportunity for Jacoby Myers to get his in. Now I don't know what corners are going to be matched up against which corners at this point, but because I was actually looking forward to seeing Devontae go against Ramsey, you know what I'm saying, just to see that, you know what I'm saying. But if he's not good to go, then that just gives us another opportunity. That means Xavier Howard's going to be on, I think he's the next corner, right? Xavier Howard's the number 2. Yeah. So he would be on Tay. So that also, going down their roster. I think Jacoby Myers is it.
And that's a fact. Dolphins for life. Their corners are sick. It's a no-fly zone for them. And you could talk about the Raiders and you could talk about the Dolphins, right? They both have their pros and cons when it comes to certain things, right? For the Raiders, obviously, they haven't played a team yet um that is both offense and defensively good like Miami. And as well as the Dolphins, they have not played somebody they haven't beat somebody that is above 500 or even good, right? So both teams have their little flaws in that sense as well. I also think that the Dolphins have not played a offense like ours, where most of our receivers are good, better than most of the receivers that the Dolphins have came up against. At the end of the day, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfro, um, Devontae Adams, and then on top of all of that, Michael Mears is starting to come in about as well. So you see what his capability is. So um, it just depends on what defense gets enough pressure on the quarterback. That's going to be one of them. And we'll get to the keys to the game right now. I just want a hard game, like AP said. If they win, they got to earn it. That's all I want them. Make them earn every motherfucking yard. That's a fact, Danar. Uh, speak their facts, brother. Raiders win 38-31 close game. That's my prediction. Hey, that's a good score line. Look at them Lakers choking. Leave my Lakers alone. Shout out to Julio Coolio in the building. Leave my Lakers alone. We'll be good. And Tucker, I completely forgot about Tucker. Tucker making plays as well. And shout out to everybody that's in here. If you guys can hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. We're on 2 channels right now. So I'm on the road to 2,000. Twuan's on the road to get monetized, so go get him monetized, please, man. He deserves it. He's been putting in the work and he knows what he's talking about. So on top of that, let's get to the keys of the game, man. And it's 3 keys to the game. If you want to start us off, what are your keys to the game? 3 keys to the game.
Stop the run.
Mm.
Stop the run. Because we already know what they can do passing wise.
Yeah.
And that might be another key, but we don't want them running and passing on us. You know what I'm saying? Like I rather it just be one dimensional, if we can on this offense. So definitely start with solidifying up front in the trenches.
Okay. For me, I have 3 exactly. One of them is I name it. For my 3 keys to the game is pressure, pressure, and more pressure. Um, Tua Tagovailoa is bad under pressure, especially when they keep getting to him. I believe Miami Dolphins, when they allow more than 3 sacks, it makes it really difficult for their offense to put up points. When you get to the quarterback. So for me, it's pressure, pressure, pressure. I'm looking at Max Crosby. I'm looking at Malcolm Kuntz. He's starting to get active. I'm starting to look at this defensive tackle room and this blitzing by Patrick Graham. Now, my second key to the game: take advantage of Jacobs and the hot hand. Jacobs right now is playing at a high level. Take advantage of Jacobs. You end up becoming 2-dimensional on that offense. You could catch this defense slipping. And for the third and final keys to the game, if it's not going your way at halftime, do adjustments. If you look at the Jets game, they did exactly that. They went into that locker room. Whatever speech Antonio Pierce gave worked. They adjusted, and look at what happened. We came out with the victory. So for me, at the end of the day, adjustment, 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 and you will beat the Dolphins if you do those 3 things. Now, are they capable of it? Yes. Will time tell? Yes. But I believe that we're a good enough team to beat Miami Dolphins, as well as Miami Dolphins is a good enough team to beat us. So it's going to be a good game. This is not going to be a boring game, and it's going to be a close game. And I think it's going to be a high scoring game on both sides of the football.
I think also it's going to have to take. It's not just going to be one player. I think it's going to take a team defense to really keep an eye on what Miami is bringing to the table. They got to definitely, another key for me is communicate on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that make sure the safeties are also talking and letting people know, hey, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, they have to communicate. So there's no blown coverage on the back end, because that also helps our front, right? When the safeties and the corners are covering well, that allows time for Max Crosby, Kuntz, that's been slowly getting there, you know what I'm saying, and Tyree on the other side, that's slowly progressing and getting there, to get to the quarterback. So we're going to have to play overall. It's not just going to be a one-man show defensively. It's going to have to be everybody as a team doing their job to get the job done. So that's it.
Shout out to Down R. He says, weapons, baby. We are strapped. Shout out to everybody in here, man. Stop the fullback. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. Thor, good to see you. Long time no see. Salute to you. Hope all is well. Time of possession. Shout out to Raider Way. Yep. Time of possession as well. I say contain Hill and Waddle. I'd rather let Tua use his feet. Get the dogs on Tua. That's a fact. And we'll get to the injury report for the final thing right now. Shout out to Dolphins for life. Touch Tua often in disguise coverages. SC is spot on. Yep. 13.5-point underdogs. Damn, they have us at 13.5 underdogs. That's insane. Shout out to Lane Elliott. SC and Twuan take care as real of those Dolphins this weekend for us, man. That's a fact. Shout out to everybody, man. 24-20 Raiders. JJ is going to get 100 yards again. Is third in rushing now to only 120 plus yards from CMC. Offense has to help the D. We have to control the time of possession, run the ball, get first downs, and score touchdowns. That's a fact, man. And I see a lot of you guys talk about the time of possession. Keep Tua off the field. Keep Tyreek Hill off the field. That's how you win the game on Sunday as well. So, hey, you this is like one of my favorite segments, right? And, I always like to do this because sometimes I'm right. It's interesting to see if it comes true, right? The boat takes, man. Let me go, Twuan. What is your bold take?
When you said that, I was like, man, I already know.
So, what is your
man.
bold take for this game? And if you have two, go ahead on one side of the offense and the defense.
Defense.
Okay.
Timo. He's gonna get his hand on one.
Okay.
Interception.
Okay.
Trayvon Merrick's gonna
Okay.
intercept. Interception from Trayvon Merrick. I feel that. Offense. Aiden O'Connell.
Okay.
He's gonna rush. He's gonna rush more than 10 yards.
Okay, more than 10 yards rushing. Hey, hell yeah, there you go. For me, I'm gonna start off with the offense side of the ball. Devontae Adams will get 100 plus yards and a touchdown. That's my bold take for Devontae Adams. On the defense side of the ball, Max Crosby will have 2 or more sacks on Sunday. Max Crosby, 2 or more sacks. Max Crosby, like I said, the reason why I think it's a realistic bold take is because Max Crosby likes to do that on and off type of deal with the games. One game he's decent, then the next game he explodes. And he had a decent Jets game. Now it's time to explode, and I'm predicting 2 or more sacks from Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, 100 plus touchdowns. 100 plus touchdowns. What the hell? 100 plus yards and a touchdown on Sunday. These are both takes, by the way. Both takes. Julio Cooler says both take Marcus Peters actually tackles. Shout out to Queen Raider. What up, sis? Hope all is well. Good to see you. Hunter gonna have a good game. Okay, Hunter Renfro. I see a lot of people saying Hunter Renfro there. So, do you have predictions as far as scoreline, or you're just saying it's gonna be a close game?
Nah, I just think, like I said, I think it's going to be a competitive game. I'll say it like that. It'll be a competitive game. I don't see it being a blowout. It might be a high scoring game.
Okay.
I might be able to take that, but I really don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Okay. Yeah, me neither. Shout out to Ace Double C. Good to see you. Our fellow Bills fan in the building. What's good? I see been a minute, man. Good to see you here. I'm glad you came around, man. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. Hope all as well. Shout out to everybody at D-Menace putting in that work. I appreciate that, D-Menace, man. And if you guys can, hit that like button for the both of us. Hey, it helps the algorithm. It's free. It doesn't do anything to you guys, man. So if you guys can't do that, it'll help me. I'm on the road to 2,000. My goal is 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I was stuck at 1,500 for a very long time, and now it's growing quickly. So that's all thanks to you guys, man. So I appreciate you guys, man, for rocking with me. And as far as Twuan, let's get on monetized. So go check the description, and also D Menace, and I see a couple other moderators as well putting in the links. Go check them out as well. For me, I'm not expecting a blowout either way. I know a lot of people have us getting blown out. Hey, we're underdogs at the end of the day. It's understandable. And us as Raider fans, hey, we usually take it to the chin and we let our play talk for us, right? So I'm expecting this team to play again with effort, and that's why I'm always excited on every single one of these games with Antonio Pierce because they're playing with high passion. They're playing with grace. And I appreciate that $5 super chat, Dolphins for life, man, our fellow Dolphins fan. Let's go, Dolphins, 38-20, he says. So he's predicting a blowout as well. Our fellow Dolphins fan in the building, man. Respect to you. Good luck to your team, man. And it's going to be a show, man. It's going to be a good show on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon for the people in the East Coast. I'm excited. But shout out to you for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. 400 total yard game. Okay. 400 total yard game. He says Butler and Wilson sack each. Okay. Tucker deep TD. Okay. Tucker with the deep TD 4-11. But yeah, for me, I just can't wait to see this team. I'm paying attention to some matchups, right? Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Max Crosby, and then on top of all that as well, I'm seeing how this rookie does against a good team. I want to see what he's capable of. And on the top of that, one of my sleepers of the draft before, Jack Jones. I want to see him on the field and see what he could do.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting too to see what and this is kind of what I've been kind of watching too is it's interesting to see what Bull Hardegree, our offense coordinator, what offensive plans does he have, and how does he change, and how does he make that fluctuate. I think things are going to be, and this, this might be it. This might be the week. This might not be the week. Yeah. But I think there's going to come a point where, there's going to be enough tape out there on Aiden O'Connell where the league is going to figure out who he is as a quarterback. And when you have that type of situation, it's going to take the offensive coordinator to draw up plays to, of course, play to our quarterback strengths, but also, disguise some of those things that may be not, completely what Aiden O'Connell is strong at. So I'm interested to see, what Bo, play wise has against, for a situation like this where he knows that their offense can put up points, and that, just the game plan wise, scheming for that and tempo and everything else, all that plays into, a win. Sometimes you go slow, you know what I'm saying? You take time off the clock. Sometimes you go fast, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what Bo has for our offense.
Facts. And he says, love the channel, have a lot of love for the Raiders. I appreciate that, Dolphins for life, that $5. And I appreciate the $10 super chat from Lewis, man. He says, Dolphins for life, I will raise your $5 and the Raiders win. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Means a lot to me. Everything goes to the channel. Nothing gets pocketed for me to go buy like a pencil or some shit. Everything gets to the channel, help the channel keep going. At the end of the day, I you guys are what makes me and my career, also makes me motivated into doing this. This is what I want to do with my life. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, because I always see new people every single day, man, in the chat and subscribing. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm going to school for communications and I want to work in the sports industry. So this is a dream of mine, and it's slowly coming true. I will say that, keeping everything behind the scenes, but it's slowly, just big things to come. Big things to come. So you guys do not want to miss it. Hey, click on the subscribe button. Maybe you will see a lot of maybe Senior Bowl. Me at the Senior Bowl next year. Who knows? There might be a little bit of draft process. You never know. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. You already know, man. We're in full effect. Shout out to Lewis again for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, Dolphins for life, for the $5. I appreciate both of you guys, man. Means a lot to me. Much love, bro. You already know, man. All love. Blessings to you guys and your families, of course. Bo knows offense. That's a fact. DeAndre Carter with the punt return for a touchdown. Wouldn't a return touchdown feel good, right? So
I'll say this too in regards to DeAndre. He's been very close. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm glad that we actually do have somebody in that position where, I'm just gonna say it. Every time he touches the ball and he starts, you know what I'm saying, he actually runs one out. I think it has a chance, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And we haven't had that in a while. So I'm glad that we have him on roster.
Facts. Shout out to All Eyes on G in the building. If you guys can't hit that like button as well, help the algorithm. We're live on 2 channels. And again, shout out to the 2 super chats from Dolphins for Life and Lewis. And also, if you also want to be a part of the membership, it's nothing too fancy. It's just some emotes. I still need to put some in. Also, it turns your name green or whatever, and it does a little bit of a member shout out. It pops it up more. If you guys want to support the channel in that way too, I made it as cheap as possible. Go over there, click the membership, or if you're on my channel, !membership will give you the membership, the link to the membership, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. You feel me? Just a little bit of a to help the channel as well. So I appreciate everybody that's in here, man. Shout out to Thrash in the building as well. Go ahead.
And if you want to help my channel, just go ahead and subscribe.
It's free. Get us to monetization, man. We gotta get them, bro.
Yeah. I'm a rookie, but I'm not a rookie when it comes to talking Raider football. So definitely, go ahead and if you're on SC channel, you know what I'm saying, come over to Raider Twuan and
Okay.
push that subscribe button.
I also need to put a command on my channel. I need to go to Nightbot and go put !Twuan so you guys could get his channel easier. Right there, I need to go put it. But shout out to everybody that's in here, man. I appreciate you guys. So like I said, just to recap for the people that just got here, we're expecting a close game. It's not gonna be a blowout either way. Jack Jones, it brings a lot of depth to the secondary as well as what's the link to Raider Twuan? Oh, you're saying Raider Twuan, right? It's can one of here. Let me. I'll put it. Oh, it's
Did,
in the description. If you go on my channel, right, you're on my channel, and you see where it says like the description, just click more, and then underneath it says follow Raider Twuan, and his YouTube and Instagram's there. Whether you want to follow him on Instagram or YouTube there, or if one of my moderators could please put his.
did they confirm that Jack Jones is going to be ready to go this week?
I he should be, but I don't know. Shout out to All Eyes on G right there for the raid.
Yeah,
Link right there. I'm not sure, but I would expect because they also released Isaiah Rochelle. They released him, so who knows? And I've been seeing a lot of people that are fans of him. They kind of been like, "Oh, we're unfollowing the Raiders. I'll screw the Raiders." It's like, bro, come on, bro. The guy didn't even play hardly. Relax, like we just all relax. Like everybody's thinking like this guy's a tough. Like I respect him. He's a cool dude. I seen some of his videos.
yeah,
And I wish nothing but the best from him. Hey, you never know. We'll sign him back. He's a decent enough player.
yeah.
But hey, it's just funny to me to see people that really follow like people. You feel me in that sense. But shout out to everybody that's here, man. If you guys can't hit that like button on the way out, any final words, Twan, about the game or anything in general you want to say about your channel and stuff like that? What you got coming up?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. How did you do in fantasy?
You know what's crazy? I benched Dak Prescott, and he would have gave me the win against you, bro. Dak Prescott dropped 50 points in fantasy, and I benched him for Josh Allen, and Josh Allen did absolutely shit against the Dolphins, bro.
Hey, Josh Allen is Santa Claus, dog. He be he be giving gifts for real. Hey, him.
I sold.
Hey, I'll ask you this, and I'll ask the chat. What's the difference between Josh Allen and Herbert? I swear I'm trying to figure out the difference. They're really the same. They're the same quarterback.
Facts, man. Hey, I go lie. Twan looking really good. Twan's 9-1, bro. Twan's 9-1 in fantasy, bro. This guy killing it over there. But shout out to my brother,
brown crackers.
Facts, my brother, my blood brother in the building, man. What's good? Right here. Good to see you, bro. Hope all is well. Shout out to everybody that's in here though. But for me, Twan, what you got as far as channel? What you got coming up, man? Lives and stuff like that.
I just dropped a video on our new wide receiver. So definitely go check out that video and figure out who our new wide receiver is. Who Ate the Brown Crackers is already dropped for last week. So definitely go check that out. I will be, it's going to be a tough. Look out, push the notification bell because I do go live at random, and then I do work with other content creators, and I do their shows. So definitely, stay tuned for that because I usually try to simulcast it on my channel. And me and you are gonna have to talk behind the scenes because we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do for next week.
Oh yeah, they play on that Thursday, I believe.
You guys, stay tuned. Stay tuned for 2 for 1 Nation podcast. We'll notify you guys in advance on what we decide to do. We're probably going to talk about it after the show because we don't want to waste your time and be doing that. But it won't be next Thursday for sure.
And my post game for the Miami Dolphins game is going to be obviously Monday. I'm thinking, like I said, I'm gonna talk to Tom behind the scenes. It might most likely be either Wednesday, maybe possibly. But just stay tuned for that. Hey, hit my Discord or Instagram. Both of our Instagrams will update you guys on there as well. On that note as well, my next show is on Monday, I believe. As well. That's about it. Subscribe if you're new. hit that like button as well. And also go show some love to my brother, man. He needs it. I've been seeing that he posted something about not wanting to continue YouTube or something. Go show Raider Ben some love, man. Go show him some love. He's live right now making picks on the NFL in general. So go over there, go check him out. Go say SC sent you, Twuan sent you. Go hit that like button over there for him too, and go subscribe if you like his content. And shout out to you guys, man. Blessings to you guys and your families. Thank you again for the 2 super chats that are today, man. Dolphins for life and Lewis, and I appreciate all the support for every single one of you guys, man. Remember, tough time never lasts, but tough people do, and you guys are some tough people. Life is short, so tell your loved ones you love them. And on that note, y'all, Raider Twuan, SC Experience, aka boy Eric, man, and we are out.